Welcome to Unwind the Talk Show. We are your hosts, Gab
and Steph.
Today, we're talking about growing up, children of immigrants, parenting, goals and aspirations, and ghosting.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Edgar.
Hello.
All right, let's get started. In this episode 4, we have our brother, Edgar.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about being kids of immigrants. We're going to be talking about our goals and aspirations. Is that how you say it?
Goals and our Asperger's.
Yeah, it's aspirations.
Yeah, I don't know if I said it right. And parenthood, fatherhood, how it's been for you.
Cool.
Okay. But first, Steph, can you get up? And Edgar, can you open that pink top?
What the fuck?
Sure. Pink top. What is this?
It's for you.
Oh, nice. I got a vinyl. It's Mac Miller. Circles. Because I always steal yours.
Yeah.
So I could hear it.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
That was the lamest thing ever.
I didn't know where to hide it because everything's visible.
No, I love it. I mean, I'm into vinyls, and then Mac Miller is like, he's dope.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. And we also made Maya the little Valentine's baggie. So
I'll give that to her.
Cheers.
So we're drinking this Cali Red. You guys want to know why I brought it?
Why?
Okay, so this Cali Red is 19 Crimes. That's the brand. And I actually researched it because I was like, what is it? So back in like the 17th century, there was like in Great Britain, they actually, like, if you committed a crime, one of the penalties was called transportation. So they would force you to go live in Australia, right? And there was 19 specific crimes that would get you that penalty. So they started a brand based on those crimes, and then there's like these main criminals that they started doing memoirs and things like that from the life in Australia. Now, think about it, back then in Australia, it was like empty, so it was supposed to be like living in hell and stuff. So, yep. So,
And Snoop Dogg was one of them?
Nah, I mean, obviously not, but I guess they they vibe with him because of his persona. So now he's marketing it, so it's his thing, but it's really dope. Like, if you scan the app, the bottle talks to you, one, and then if you scan the app, you can go read all the memoirs of all the criminals and stuff, so it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I love using the AR app to hear what the story is about and what their punishment was, and that stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And it's good, and it's cheap. It's like 14% alcohol, so...
I think it's actually very disgusting.
Our parents migrated from... Well, our mom did, from Guatemala, and my dad from Mexico, which plays a big part on how we grew up.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we are... we would be considered first-generation kids of immigrants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what was it like? You and Mom, you were about 8 years old. 8?
When I moved here?
Yeah.
No, I was way younger.
6.
I remember the first time, I think I was like 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then we would go back a lot just because, my mom missed the family and stuff, so we would travel a lot. But yeah, overall, I mean, how was it growing up? Just kind of being bilingual and immigrant. I mean, it was it was definitely interesting. We grew up in Cali, so like there's a lot more immigrants there, so I think it was easier to kind of relate with, the masses. But overall, I think that, things are a little bit harder, like from every perspective when you're like a kid of an immigrant.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Did you ever get picked on at school?
Maybe at first, like when I was really little, like elementary, just because, I, like, obviously English was my second language, so it took me a while to catch up. But overall, no, not really.
Yeah.
I mean, they had all these special classes. Like, I'm telling you, it was like, overall, we had so many people, in that general area that were immigrants, so.
Okay, what about like being young and like your parents expecting you to read like a bill or something and you have to know what it says because you speak English and I don't know, but you're fucking 10 years old and you gotta translate this bill.
Yeah, I experienced that a ton. Like at age 8, they had taught me how to fill out a checking, like a, what would you call it?
A check.
Like a check, to make bill payments. And I showed my mom one day, and she was like, "You're paying the bills from now on." Yeah. So from age 8 to growing up, it's like my mom didn't know how to do that stuff. So it was on, like the older siblings or
whoever's
kids.
There.
Yeah.
As soon as I left, that's you.
I took over everything.
As soon as you left, that was you.
No, but I still get called a stupid idiot.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. I mean, my mom still makes me read stuff. You know what trips me out the most? And this happens at work all the time too, like with customers, but trips me out when my mom gives me something and it's in Spanish and I'm like, bro, it's in Spanish. Like, she's like, but I don't understand it. Like what?
It's so funny.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we definitely experienced that.
But that's really good, though, because, I mean, if you think about it, you were on, like, I knew how to write checks at, like, 10.
Yeah.
Like, you knew how to, like, kind of solve those problems that
Yeah.
you shouldn't be solving. Like, you were talking about taxes and stuff at 10.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's cool because I learned that at such a young age that, like, now all of that is so easy to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I was able to figure all of that out when I was purchasing my first home and paying my own bills. So it makes it easier. You benefit from it.
Yeah. I guess that's part of, like, growing up with, like, immigrant parents. There's going to be so much that they don't know from, like, the world over here that you're both learning. So you don't really get taught a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And a little bit about my mom's background. Mom was about 20 when she moved out here, correct?
Like 19, 20.
19, yeah. 20, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she came over. It was pretty difficult for her because she had been the, like, mom figure to her siblings.
Right.
So it was hard for her to leave them, but she had her child to take care of, which is Edgar. And so she went to Cali and started a life there.
She worked at some factory in California where I don't know, they manufactured some kind of plane parts.
Yes,
something like
that's
that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That was before we moved here.
Yeah, I remember. I remember her telling me she worked with one of the Riveras there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
She used to date one of her brothers.
Yeah, she told me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. Like, I was young, but like from what the situation she described, like, I obviously didn't know who they were back then, but I knew, like,
Yeah.
just ran into, like, these dudes. And
Yeah,
I
mom.
remember stories about like going to the movies and stuff.
She told me that one day, well, where Jenny Rivera first started playing when she wasn't as big yet, mom used to go watch her because she was dating one of her brothers. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah. And, yeah, mom, it took, because mom migrated to the U.S., it was hard for her to learn a second language because she was already so mature.
Right.
And I believe it wasn't until about 10 years ago that she started talking and writing.
English?
Not fluently, but she does the best she can. And
Yeah.
same with my dad.
Yeah. I mean, growing up, you were definitely like a professional translator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like some words you're like, what?
Make it up.
Yeah.
Dice que... deja pensar, mom.
You start doing that hand signs like que esa cosa, that one.
Tú sabes.
Yeah.
Ellos dicen.
Ellos dicen.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's true.
And then, yeah, and the background on my dad was 17 when he came to the U.S., and he was the first one in his family to move out here to start a life, to start making money so that he could get the rest of his family out here.
Yeah.
So I feel like both of my parents at such a young age had so much to deal with, you know, because I'm sure that must have been hard, moving to another country, not speaking the language, not having the money, and then you're being discriminated on top of everything, you know, because I'm sure they faced discrimination. I know my dad has. He's told me stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I just think about that like, damn, I'm 25 now, and I'm terrified of even moving to another state. Like, I'm like, I can't be away from my mom, from my siblings. Like, what would I do? How did my parents just, like, all right, let's go, you know?
Well, I mean, like, if you think about it, even the pandemic, like you guys were talking about, you know, obviously before, but, like, we had a hard time dealing with just staying home.
Yeah.
Imagine leaving a whole country.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think about that a lot, and I think about how strong they are. And the reason I said earlier how I feel that it affected us is because our parents were always on survival mode since they got here.
Yeah.
That it's like mental health is like, ¿qué es eso?
Right.
You know? Yeah. It's like depression. We don't know her.
We don't know
Anxiety. What is that?
Like, you better stop.
Yeah.
Calm down. Like, figure it out.
Read a book. Watch a show.
Go outside.
Yeah.
Like, get some air.
Well, maybe you're just sad.
Yeah.
Go cry.
You're not even allowed to be sad, though.
Yeah, you're not.
No, that too.
Yeah.
Estás triste por un pendejo.
Yeah.
That's my mom.
I still get that shit.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Nah, it's different. I mean, but if you, Gabby, obviously you've gone to Guatemala, but you were like a baby, so you don't.
3 months.
So you don't remember, but like if you go to like all these countries, you see the need. Like you see like there's no way like you could really consider a future here, you know? Like you're talking about third world countries. So it's like there's no way. Like that is probably what that survival mode, like when it kicks in, it's like exactly that. It's survival. So it's like I have no option but to leave everybody behind because, you know.
Because I got to send money back.
Because I have no choice.
That too,
You know?
To this day, my mom still provides for her siblings in that, you know, in Guatemala. And I don't know, I often think how strong our parents are for the things that they continue to do for their family back home, you know, because sometimes we, as siblings, we like, so and so, like, I gotta let them
in the house.
Or stupid stuff like that, right?
Like Brie lost her keys again.
Oh, I gotta get like Brie. I had to get her an Uber the other day. I was like, I have to get Brie an Uber. Like, fuck.
You had to get me an Uber.
Yeah, I got you one too, but you're a little dumb sometimes.
No,
I was like, as long as she gets home.
No, my bank account was tripping out. It was the 7th, and it was saying I spent money on the 8th. I was like, what?
She said, how you do that?
Hey, the way that my banking account is set up.
It takes money out the day after.
It's because I got the checkings and the savings. And no, dude. Yeah, I get you. It's got to be... It's super hard for you to, like, think about how much they do for everybody else. I think that's what makes us as Hispanic kids, though. If you think about it, we're really, like, caring.
Yeah.
Know? Most, like, first-generation Hispanic kids, one, we're all hardworking.
Yeah.
Like, we don't, like, ask questions. I mean, obviously, it depends who you are and how you're raised. But for the most part, as a culture, I think that, everybody has the same kind of view of what Hispanics are. And it's always, like, hardworking. It's always, like, caring, like, trying to do more. Exactly. Somebody that's not going to be loud, just stands in a corner, like,
Yeah.
Which could be perceived as a bad thing sometimes because then they don't really consider us leaders.
And we don't speak up.
Because we don't speak up.
Yeah.
Right? Because we don't speak up. We just, hey, man, what do you need done? I'll get it done. And then just, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Because that's how we're built. Like, I mean, growing up, they were like, hey, wake up, go do this.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, I remember I was like 9 and Mom was like, wake your ass up. I don't care if there's no school. You better clean this house from top to bottom. And I used to be like, shit.
Yeah, you're just like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
Like, this is what I'm going to do.
But it builds your character. Mm-hmm. Because you once you realize and you have your own home, especially when you have your own kids, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to let my kids be lazy. I'm not going to let them get everything handed to them. So I'm going to teach them the way that my parents taught me. And that's waking up on a Sunday morning to
like
cumbia.
Yeah.
And put your ass to mom.
Yeah.
I mean, Matt's still little, but I'm saying, like, he helps out, and that's important to get him to realize you got to work for your things.
So, what do you... I'm going to ask you guys the questions now. No.
Yeah.
Like, what do you guys think is the biggest contribution that being, like, a immigrant's child has been for your life?
It's the way that I think about it is I can't fail. Like, I just can't fail. If I do something and it doesn't work out, then I try the next. And if that doesn't work out, I continue. Because I don't want my parents to think I came here, raised these kids as best as I could with what I was given, and they're not able to succeed. Like, I saw the disappointment in my parents' face when they found out that I was expecting. And at that point, I was like, damn, I fucked up. But of course, I would never take that back. My son is my world. I also think about I'm sure they wanted me to finish college and get my degree. And, I think I've done pretty well. But I know that in their eyes, I could have done better.
Right.
Well, I am the family disappointment, so...
Nah, you got two generations to go, so you might not be, not just yet.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't.
Like, how has our parents being immigrants, like affected your life, or not affected, but how has it impacted your life?
Like, what's the biggest contribution that it's given you?
I'm mentally fucked up.
Yeah, I don't think that's why.
That's not a contribution.
I don't think that's why.
No, I mean it plays a part though, because I would say mom traumatized each one of us.
Yeah, oh, for sure. I mean, it was hard. You know, I always think about this when it comes to you and Bree and Jenny, and just because I think that the fact that it was myself and Gab first, it probably made it easier on you guys.
Because we took all the beating.
Oh, I know that.
No, not even just like from that standpoint, but I'm saying because we were able to just kind of adapt that American style, or, I mean, it's kind of a mixture now, right? So the American life is really the immigrant life in America now. So, like, we were able to kind of influence you more. Like, you had an iPhone, like, young, like, you know what I mean? Like, you were given things that, like, second, third generation kids, like, our kids are being given that because you had older siblings that kind of, like, fended for you at that point.
Exactly, yeah.
But like, as far as the question, like, this, just to kind of throw that in, I think it's the same thing that Gabby said. Like, for me, it's weird because it's like, I was just having this conversation with a friend, and they were like, yo, like, how come you just, like, always, like, strive to be, you know? And I was just like, I just can't fail. Like, I'm not going back. Like, I'm not going back to that type of life. So, like, I can't fail. Like, if it doesn't work, like, I'll find a solution. Like, you have to find a solution regardless. Like, fix your mindset, like, work with it. Like, if you're sad, go figure it out, and then keep going, you know? That's really the biggest contribution that my parents gave me.
I still stand at the same spot. It didn't change shit.
Oh my goodness. I guess me and Edgar are seeing it like in the positive way that it contributed, and I think we should talk on the negative way too. Because, you know, like we mentioned, mom, although
Not only mom.
of course dad too. But it also contributed in the, like, traumas and, like, the way it affected us growing up, you know. Because by age 12, my dad was no longer in my life, right?
I was
10.
And
then Edgar also grew up without his father by his side. So it's been difficult because we've only had that mother, what would you say, like, that mother-child relationship. We never really... I remember growing up with dad and, like, bonding with him, and then as soon as the separation, everything was done. It wasn't until I had my son that I tried to build that relationship with my dad. And to this day, it's, hi, Dad, how are you? Good, how are you? And that's it. Like, it doesn't go past that, really.
unless he's drunk.
Yeah.
I think the negatives of that, well, maybe for me it wasn't too much about the dad, just because, you know, because it was always just kind of an issue, so it didn't really affect me to a point where I was just kind of like, this is normal. But, and then I think that your dad did a really good job of, like, stepping in and kind of taking that mantle for a long time for me, and kind of just guiding me through, you know, what it's like to be a man or what it's like to be a father, because it's crazy to say that you obviously just said that, you know, that relationship was broken when you were like 12, but before that, like, that relationship was so, like, good, you know, like, he was like,
There.
he was great. Just even if you think about somebody just playing stepdad, like, you don't want to deal with somebody else's kids, but, like, I never felt part of not the family when it came to just him. maybe like the rest of the family was different, but him, like he never gave me that vibe.
Yeah.
You know? But what I got, like, I think the hardest thing for me was just starting so far back, you know, like now that I see or like do my own thing and I'm like an adult and I know what I'm supposed to do as far as like, you know, like my future investments, like buying my house and all that, like I had to figure all that out myself. Like we talked about writing checks at 10, but like we weren't fixing credit. Like we didn't know what credit was. We didn't know like, you know, what like bonds and stocks and like college funds, you know what I'm saying? So like we started backwards. So I think that was where I was like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
like, you know, because you see people, like you see friends, like I see friends. I've had friends that, I'll tell you a story. I had this coworker, and you know, obviously he's white, and then, you know, he's telling me about how he's, you know, investing in this, you know, new thing, and that he just remodeled his kitchen, and he was a little bummed out of the amount of money that he was spending, and I was like, damn, dude, like that's a lot of money. Like, how do you have that? You know, because he's kind of young. He's like my age, and he's like, oh man, you know, like. My parents left me like a trust fund, but it was nothing. It was only like $200,000.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? Like, dude, you know what I could do with $200,000? Like, yeah. Like, dude.
My mom brought me tortillas.
Like, right? Like we've been fucking paying like people in another country. Like, yeah. My mom's like, hey. How much you gonna give me to send back to Guatemala?
My sister, yeah.
Like, and I'm like, this guy got $200,000 to start. Like, that's a fucked up start for that. But it's true, right?
It is, yeah.
I guess the way that we were raised, we weren't
given a lot of freedom.
No, not necessarily even that. Like the way that we are with our kids, me and Gabby specifically, because you believe in ass whoopings.
They work.
No, they don't.
Yeah, my kid is wild, but you know, I did get my ass whooped. So I mean that helped, right? Not really.
So yeah, I listen to psychologists like Dr. Gabor Mate, and I also recently read this book called How to Be a No Limit Person. And so I like listening to these things because it talks about how the relationship that you had with your parents affect the way you parent now. Dr. Gabor Mate states that the first 7 years of your child are critical to the way that they're going to grow up as an adult. And so for me, it's important for my son to be emotionally intelligent.
Okay.
And to learn how to speak about things that are bothering him without the guilt and the invalidation of his feelings and emotions. And so that's my style of parenting. I don't believe in spanking or any of that because it was done to me as a kid and it was overly done.
Yeah.
And it's not fun, you know, to go through that. And am I a good person now? Of course. But I think those things, children are a lot smarter than we think they are.
Yeah.
And so you can sit with your child at eye level and have a conversation with them and tell them, like, I don't like what you're doing. It has to stop. If it's something bad that they've done. But you never degrade your child. That's what I've learned from them.
Right. I mean, yeah, I agree. You know, like, I think that my relationship with my mom was very similar. So, like, we had a lot of open communication. So, at one point, obviously you guys are younger and you guys weren't born yet, but it was just my mom and I, and before she met your dad. So a lot of that time was spent just her and I. So we would talk a lot. Like, there was a lot of conversation there. So I knew things that probably a 5, 6, 7-year-old shouldn't be, really knowing, like, what is our monetary situation? And you don't want your 6-year-old to worry about what, like, your money struggles and things like that. So I agree. You always want to make sure that you have a relationship with your kid that they could express themselves to the fullest. So I do the same, like, I talk to Anamaya, like, she knows my past. She knows, like, she knows things about Guatemala and what it's like, and, but I also think that there has to be structure, and some individuals prefer it. So, Anamaya, I feel like prefers structure because she's so used to it. Like, there's things that she does on her own now that I don't even have to ask her to do. It's just like second nature to her because it makes sense for her, So if you have structure, then you have direction. And that's really where I come in. And, like, I believe in spanking, but it's not like I'm walking around just beating my kid, like, it comes to a point where, like, yo, listen, we talked about it. Like, we've had this discussion. There has to be a disciplinary action, because for every action, there's a reaction, and that reaction could be a consequence.
Right.
So that's the way that I see it. So yeah, you have to be able to communicate with your kid and let them know. And they're super smart. Like, they're way smarter than what, you think at that age. So I always relate to Anamaya she's 7. So I always relate to her. Like, when I was 7, like, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
So her life obviously, has its own turmoils because she's more of, like, that new generation struggle is, hey, split households.
Exactly.
Like, she goes to a school where I want to say the majority of her classmates are all in families. They're all, like, married in one household and things like that. So she questions a lot. How come I have 2 houses? Yeah. And it's like, man, like, how do you tell a 6-year-old, like, like, because me and your mom didn't work out. But she has 2 different lifestyles. So her mom is a lot less structured and less,
lenient.
She's more lenient, right? Yeah. But Anamaya seems to like being around me more. Yeah. Because of that structure. But you also have to balance it. So with the structure and the expectations that you have for somebody, you also have to make sure that there's recognition and reward.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I always, like, you see how much time I invest in her. Like, Anamaya and I, like, do everything together. Like, I spend so much time teaching her whatever she wants to learn. Like, we do. Like, we are committed to learning, Yeah. And even playing with toys or things like that. And she's like, Dad, I need you to play with me. I need you to be this character. Like, all right, whatever I'm doing, like, I'm going to go sit down on the floor and play with you for the next hour or 2 just because that's what you need, Right, yeah. So there has to be a balance. But I agree, like, we're dealing with a lot of different things now.
Exactly, yeah. And we're 2 very different people, too.
3 different people.
It's because, Steph, you have it.
I'm just out of it today. I don't know.
Well, what about your style of parenting?
All we talk about is her emotions. Sometimes I spank, sometimes I yell. But it's like, even when people like one time a friend came into town and I was going to go out with this friend. And
this is so good.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I like this wine. It's one of my favorites.
And my friend had said something along the lines of, "You're too pretty to cry." And I just looked at her and I was like, "Don't tell her that. We've been told that our whole lives, and that's why we're all afraid to show emotion, because my whole life I've been told, you're too pretty, don't cry." And now I'm gonna go and put the same thing into my daughter. Like, no.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I stand.
I do the same because I'm the only one in the family who has a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's very common to hear, "You're a boy, don't cry."
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that. His dad, Matt, will have like a breakdown because he doesn't want to go to school the next day. And I'm over here trying to help him calm down. And he's like, "Can you call my dad? I want to talk to him." And I'm like, "Sure." Dad gets on the phone. "Why are you crying? You're a boy. Boys don't cry." And I'm like, "No, we don't do that."
But what does that do for Matt?
It confuses him.
Oh, okay.
It confuses him because in our home, it's, you're allowed to cry. And he doesn't cry because he throws tantrums. He hardly ever throws a tantrum. He does have breakdowns because he's having a hard time with the school routine, I feel. And so I understand how that affects him. I don't think his dad does, because he doesn't do the every day-to-day homeworks and drop-offs and pickups, and he doesn't ask him, "Hey, Matt, how was your day? What did you learn today?" It's just, "Why are you crying? Boys don't cry." And that's a big no in our household, And so I understand what you mean, Steph. Because, like now I have a partner who's afraid to show emotion. And I feel like it's because he was raised by people all his life telling him, boys don't cry.
You can't cry,
Yeah. And so I see how it affects.
When's the last time you cried?
I think when Kobe died.
Over a year ago?
Yeah, I think it was when Kobe died.
Yeah.
I mean, which is random because I'm not even a Kobe fan, but I'm a dad that has a daughter, so I think that story just really got to me. It was really personal, So I think that's the last time I actually cried.
Yeah.
Before then, do you know?
Man, I don't know.
I know.
When?
You experienced a loss.
Oh yeah, I think when for sure when I lost Peter.
Yeah.
That was deep. That was hard for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you've experienced more loss than anyone I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little older too, so it kind of comes with the territory, but yeah.
You should cry more.
I mean, it's not like a you have to thing.
No.
With me. It's not always sad too. Like when I bought my house, the first one, like I was really like I was so happy, when they called me and they were like, "Yo, you're accepted."
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like so happy. So like that made me cry cuz that I felt was like a culmination of all the hard work that I had been doing,
Yeah, that's beautiful.
for a lot of years. So things like that. I mean, but it's not something that I do.
So speaking about buying homes, what are some of your goals and aspirations?
Like overall, I think my biggest goal is obviously make sure that my kid's good,
but you had goals from when you were super young that you weren't able to accomplish. Can you go into why and when those goals started, or those dreams, I guess you could say, because they were goals in a way, but they were more your dreams.
Yeah, I mean, when you're young, you're like, unrealistically, you want to be like rich. Like everybody says, oh, I'm going to be rich. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But I really wanted it. Like, I was like, no, this is what I really want. You know, like, it kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier, actually, like the being kids of immigrants and like just, you know, where you started and what you see, and you're just like, and like what we were talking about, like, I'm not prepared to go back to that. Mm-hmm. So like my goals are to never go back, right? Mm-hmm. So you start thinking about like, where do you want to get? And you know, the older I got, I mean, I was doing little things here and there, just regular stuff, like trying to move up in the company, save money, you know, but it really kicks off when you have a kid, and then you start thinking, you know, like that story that I told you about my friend starting at $200,000 and things like that. And you're like, yo, like, you know, imagine you having that, like with the drive that you have, right? So as a Hispanic kid, like the drive that you have, and then that fear that you have of going back to not having anything. And then you mix that with actually having the resources, that could be a dangerous thing, you know, for, I mean, just in general, like you could be very, very powerful. Like you can make some moves. And that's really when you start thinking about like, how can I make my kid or set them up like that?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So like, I don't know, my goal is to, like, if you think about it as a culture, we want Hispanics to like really make some noise, right? We want to be up there. We want to make sure that it's not just, you know, when we talk about generational wealth, we're not talking about the same people. We're putting our name in there. But realistically, generational wealth is like way beyond our reach. For the most part. I mean, you could always get really lucky and you know, hit gold somewhere. Like you find a stock, it just blows up, or like you invent something, or like, you know what I mean? Like it takes a lot when you're talking about generational wealth. Like my kids are going to be rich.
Exactly.
So what is the impact that you're going to do? Like, how are you going to change that for our people? It really starts with what you can control, and that's just your kid, you know? Right. So my conversations with Anamaya is like, hey, like, you're a winner. I'm going to need you to win. Like, you know? Like, I'm trying to build or embed the same, like, characteristics that I had, or same drive, but I'm also trying to set up resources. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you set up college funds. And I mean, I told both of you guys, like I tell you all the time, like, yo, set up your kid's college fund, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't matter. Just do it. Like, you start jumping into like investment homes, or you start jumping into like stocks, you know, like things like that. So just to try to, I don't want to say try to mimic the way that everybody else does it in America, but at least try to compete, at least try to keep up. You know, right. You want to have something. So my goal is like, hey, if I could leave my kid with, let's say it's not $200,000, let's say it's $50,000 on a college fund, and I've also invested in her education throughout the first, I don't know, 8 years, you know, through like private school, or just really focused on embedding her with the characteristics that she requires to be a winner, mm-hmm. then I want her to one day be like, hey, I want to do this for my kids double.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we're building a ladder. So hey, I left you with 50,000 for you to go to school and for you to start a life. So that's a head start. That's not me like leaving you with, hey, figure out how to do investments. No. Like I'm gonna teach you. I'm gonna put you on game. Like you're gonna have money. You're gonna, that's a head start.
Right.
So then your goal is to double that. So your kid, like her kid, my grandkids, better have like 80 to 100,000 to start.
Exactly. Yeah. I think about that too. And just this last year, I set up a college fund for Matt because I really didn't know how to go about that. And then I found out about IRA accounts and how they're better than any kind of savings checkings account that you could ever set up for your child, because I had a savings for Matt. But that money wasn't moving. It was actually decreasing because the bank was charging a monthly fee. And since that money wasn't moving, of course, they were removing 10 cents every month. Now I have his college fund, and it increases every month. And I'm just like, wow, had I done this from when he was born, we would have been up here. Whereas right now we're like here, which is still cool because at least we have that start,
Well, he's also 6, so you have a whole 12 years to go. So at least you got it early, So for sure. But that's definitely the goal. Like that's what drives me when you're like, what are your goals? Is like, let's change the game for our people.
For our children too, yeah. But how old were you? You were in middle school, high school when you had these big dreams. But because you're the child of an immigrant, Mom had to work extra long hours. You had to stay home and watch your siblings. What was your dream?
Well, so I used to play basketball, so that was my thing. Like I played basketball all day, every day. Like it was just like breathing. Yeah. So that was my dream, just play. But obviously it was always like literally I was like hiding me playing basketball from my mom. I was trying out at school, and couldn't accept like positions on the team because like, my mom was like, no, you got to be home. Like I got 2 twins and I need help. And I'm just like, all right, I get you. So yeah, that was kind of hard for sure, but it is what it is.
Yeah. No, it isn't. I mean, I don't know, like being a parent, and if I'm ever selfish enough to have another child when I know I could barely handle one, I never want to put that fucking responsibility on my kid.
Yeah, but I think for our parents it was different because like how we were talking about being in survival mode. And I agree. I wouldn't tell my eldest, hey, you got to watch your siblings, therefore you can't, I don't know, go to soccer practice, whatever Matt wants to do. I'm not going to do that, because now that we are parents, we understand, like, they're our children. We got to figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. But Mom and Dad, all they knew was I got to put food on the table, keep a roof over these kids' heads. I can't risk losing my job.
Yeah, and it also, if you think about the position that they were put in, like that's all that they know. Mm-hmm. So they don't know, like now us, we're a lot more educated because we have resources. Like we have the ability to go on our phones and just look up like what did you say you were looking up earlier? Like the psychologist about what? Parenting, like your mom didn't have that. No. She didn't have no library card. Yeah. So she had to just figure it out. And the only thing that she knew was like, hey, back in Guatemala, she was in charge of her brother and her sister. So then, like, coming here, she's like, hey, you're the oldest. You're in charge of your brother, of your sisters.
Exactly. And and after you left home, I became that person. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so it's kind of just trickled down the generational
pull.
Exactly. And so we are trying to break these generational curses. Mm-hmm. Like, it stops at us. We won't continue with our children, but it goes back to our parents at such a young age had to fend for themselves.
Yeah.
You know? So I think about that now. When I was younger, I'd be like, dang, my parents are such, like...
A-holes.
A-holes. Yeah. Like, damn. Like, I want to be with my friends.
Right.
I got to watch these little...
Kids that you had, like, you had them. Why am I watching them?
And then it was like, when I get home from work, the house better be clean, and you're just like, this ain't my motherfucking house.
Right. Like, y'all dirty, dude. I've been outside playing this whole time.
I'm in my room all day.
Yeah. No, it's true, but. I mean, you could go either way. You could be mad. You could be like, fuck this. Like, I can't believe I had to deal with this, which I have. And this is obviously, I was going to say this is between us, but obviously, you know, hella people are going to hear it. But, you know, I've dealt with, like, just being pissed at my mom for, like, yo, man, like, you really don't know how much I've really loved this shit, you know?
Yeah, like, you grew up resenting my mom.
No. I think that I had too much respect and like just knowledge of her like past. I think that when I got older, there was resentment, but I think that was because then now you have something to compare, right? Now you're like, yo, I'm a dad and I'm not doing this, like, and I'm not like. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could have done things so much different. And then if you think about it, like, you guys know that there's more to, you know, when I got older, there's a lot of more information shared that was more kind of like, yo, all right, now I'm pissed off.
Yeah.
You know? But no, I think I had too much respect to be pissed off that she didn't let me play basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was hard. It was hard for sure. You know, but you understand it. You grow up understanding.
You grow up and you realize, like, I understand why my mom did, or my parents did things the way they did. I did feel angry growing up with my parents because I felt that they both caused so much pain when I was growing up. There was, like, a lot of invalidating my feelings. There was a lot of whatever the fuck you're going through, suck it up, you know, like, I had to grow up really quick. As soon as my dad left, you know, it was like, well, you know, you're the other parent in the house. Right, and I was like, I'm 12.
You better start writing those checks, girl.
No, I really became like that.
The man of the house.
And if you see the mortgage, you better tell me what it says.
What it means. What the fuck is a mortgage insurance? Mom, how the hell do I know? No, but yeah, I feel like, you know, I was angry because of the way that my parents did things. But at the same time, like, now I'm older and now I realize, like, yeah, my parents had fucked up childhoods too. So, like, it's generational trauma and it trickles down. And that's why we said it stops here. Because each one of us has daddy issues.
Some of us more than others.
No, I swear. I think every person in this family has daddy issues.
For sure.
I mean, Jenny might be saved.
No. I don't know. I think Jenny's just quiet about it. Oh, okay. Jenny's like a strong person.
I try to talk to her about it. You know, I try to have conversations with the twins about it. Sometimes we'll be up till 5 a.m. and they spill all their guts to me. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of just there like, oh shit, you went through it too.
Yeah, I think they're just not vocal about it at all.
Bria's very open about it with me.
To you.
No,
with you too?
Anytime she's like, hey, yo, yeah, I'm pissed off.
Oh, yeah. They don't open up with me, I guess, because they just look at me as like,
the bank account?
Yeah. That's exactly, I'm their ATM.
Their ATM. Yeah, so obviously we talked about our parents' traumas, and then we talked about our traumas. Like, each generation has their own issues, and what do you think our kids are going to be, like, complaining about? Like, what do you think their traumas are? Because you have to, right? Everybody has a struggle.
I mean, with all three of us, we're no longer with the father or mother of our child. Therefore, they're going to grow up, like, seeing friends who have those parents, like you mentioned, those parents who have that. They're going to grow up with that mom and dad dynamic, whereas Matt's going to have 2 dads, 2 moms, 17 grandmas, like,
Yeah. Which is true, because the kids, like, legit tell me, hey, I have a lot of grandmas, and I'm just there like, yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, Matt was like, yeah, I have 7 grandmas. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yo, I had a lot of grandmas and grandpas too.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
You did.
And I don't even know half of these motherfuckers. But if you think about it, my dad's mom, like, that's considered a
Like,
grandma.
biological?
No, obviously you only have 2 biological ones. But I'm saying, like, Nina has to be considered grandma.
Yeah.
Then I have my grandma from my dad. Then I have my grandma from my mom. Then I have my grandpa's wife. You know what I mean? and then the one I don't know. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's a lot of fucking
That's
grandmas.
a lot of grandma.
Yeah, you got a lot of family members, dude. Fuck. You have, like, what, 3 different dads?
Stop.
Wow.
Stop, bro.
When's the last time you cried, she said.
I'm about to make you cry.
No.
I have nothing.
No, yeah, dude. I do have a big ass family. I have family that is like fucking not family. Like, I've been at work and motherfuckers will be like, "Oh, I'm your cousin." And I'm like how? Like,
One of your dads.
Like, what do you mean, bro? And then I'm like, all right, cool. Like, but like when people ask me like, hey, like, how big is your family? I'm just like, honestly, it's just me, my mom's, and like 4 sisters.
Same.
That's it. That's
My
all I
dad.
have.
Yeah, same.
Like, if you want to count all that,
I did like my 3 dads.
like, I don't know half of them. Just make one up.
Damn, that's sad. They fucked you up the most. Fuck.
Yeah.
For you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all good. It helped out. Well, this was fun.
Super fun.
Thanks. Can't wait to come back.
Next time we'll talk about your mommy issues. Oh.
Next time we'll talk about my relationships and shit. And then I'm really gonna.
Wait,
No,
I
I'm
wanted
just
to talk
kidding.
about ghosting.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Have you
That's
guys,
random.
Have you guys, no, because this is something that I've noticed that I keep on doing.
You're ghosting people?
Yeah. Have you guys ever ghosted anyone?
Probably not intentionally. Like, like I just kind of like, I'm a fade away like MJ, and then like
That's what it is, no?
No, ghosting. I think ghosting is like, yo, I'm gonna deliberately ignore you. Where like me, I'm just like, I'm gonna fade away. Like, I'm gonna take long to reply. Like, I'm not going to ever be available. Like, so then, you know, eventually they're like, you know what? Fuck this guy.
I'm going to head out.
Right? But ghosting is just like, I'm not going to give you an explanation. I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm just out.
Yeah. No, I don't think
No,
I've
yeah,
ever.
you have.
No, I haven't.
No, yeah, you have.
Ooh.
Do you want me to drop names?
I mean, sure.
Don't do it. Oh, can you beep it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Say the name and then it's going to go.
Wait,
Got it.
I don't have a beep though. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Real are the main ones that I could remember. I ghost a lot of people. I don't know if it's that I'm emotionally unavailable.
It's because your dad ghosted you, so you're like,
Yeah.
wow,
He
could
ghosted you at 10, bro. So now it's a.
Okay,
now
can I
you're
tell you
ghosting-
like my most recent situation?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's
Okay.
yourself.
So I met this guy. He flew out here to meet me. Met up with him. And for the first 2 days, it was cool. We went to dinner. We went to bars. We went day drinking. Everything was dope, right? And by the third night, I had worked. It was a long day. You guys know that I don't have breakfast until I get out of work because I'm just not a morning person. Well, I'll be a morning person when I have Violet, but I just won't eat breakfast. I'll feed her, but I just won't eat till I get out of work. I'll just like drink a whole bunch of water and alcohol. And then
And you got that from your dad too.
yeah, I did. Shout out to my daddy. He blew me up 2 nights of just hanging out, blew me up and was just like, I was a cute rebound, right? And I was this and I was that and blew me the fuck up. So I just ghosted him. I feel like shit because he was out here till today.
Oh my God.
He was out here for a full week.
Stupid. I'm not going to let you get the chance.
Pretty much.
Is that what you said?
Yep. And I was like, red flag, red flag, red flag. Not doing that. Bye.
Hey, side story. I just want you guys to know that Tekashi 6ix9ine is my spirit animal.
We've been knowing that.
I don't get it.
They look like.
No, dude. Okay. Can I just steal this mic real quick and just explain
go.
to you why?
Get into it.
Think about it. Tekashi 6ix9ine is like himself. Like to the 100th power. Like all of us, we all go to work and we gotta fucking pretend. This guy does not pretend at all.
Speaking of pretending, can you do your customer service voice?
Oh,
Please.
Can we all do our customer
Yeah,
service?
well,
do.
what am I gonna say? I'm gonna be like,
Just don't say where you work. Just say hi.
okay, like, well, fuck, it's hard. Okay, yeah, no, I definitely understand how you feel. You know what? Don't worry about it. I'm gonna take care of it for you.
Oh, you are a manager. Fuck.
Go.
Okay. Hi, welcome to blah, blah, blah. I'm Stephanie. I'll be taking care of you tonight. Can I get you anything to drink besides water? Let's get some tequila, some margaritas. Come on,
That's
Get
you
it.
do that?
Sometimes if I go into work tipsy or hungover,
She does.
That's funny. I like that.
mm-hmm.
Hi, thank you for holding. This is Gabby. How can I help you?
Ew.
Isn't
I'm
it ugly?
disgusted with us.
Who are we?
Right? Okay. So Tekashi 6ix9ine doesn't have a customer service voice.
Stupid.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He does not. He's just like,
Stupid. I'm not going to let you get the chance.
bro, like, how could you not want to fucking live that life? I want to fucking be able to say that shit to people randomly just because.
Yeah, same. I wish I could just...
So wasn't he a child predator, though?
Oh.
Listen, I don't know. I'm just saying that's my spirit animal, all right?
Yeah.
I don't get involved in the politics of everything. I know he snitched. I don't like him snitching or all that. I just think this shit is funny.
Yeah.
Like, this guy literally has 69 tattoos of the number 69. Just cause.
And rainbow hair.
And rainbow hair. Just cause.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. Okay, anyways. Ghosting. Let's go back to that. I'm sorry.
I do it a lot, and I feel bad about it after, but I'm kind of just here like, is it because I'm running away from them because I know that they might be a good person? Is that it?
What do you think is the root of all this?
I think there's solely something that I'm like focused on, and like all the bullshit that I'll take, and then if you're not that person, everyone else I'll drop. Like, one red flag I'll drop, another one I'll drop.
Why do you think you can't just tell them? Like, why can't you just be like, you know what? I'm not feeling it.
Because it's too easy.
Or you don't think maybe it's too hard? Like, everyone hates rejection, and maybe you're just afraid of being the reason?
No, because I don't. No, because it's the easy way out to like tell them like, look, you did this and it turned me off, but I don't even care enough to give you the reason.
No, I think it's easier to just ghost somebody, because then you don't have to have the tough conversations.
You go blockety.
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
even block.
I mean, it's hard to tell somebody, like, to their face, like, you suck.
It is.
So I think that's the easy way out, is just like, you know what, I'm just gonna ghost them. Mm-hmm. Which I think, I mean, I don't fucking care, but like, to me, that's why I rather just tell a motherfucker, like, you know what, that's just me.
I feel bad. I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
Not really, though.
I mean, old me didn't care. Old me
Yeah.
was just like, fuck it.
Okay.
Like, obviously.
Okay, but what do you feel like, how would you feel if somebody ghosted you? Like, let's say a friend. It doesn't always have to be, like, relationships.
A relationship, exactly.
Yeah, so, like, if a friend was like, you know what? Nope.
I would overthink, like, what did I do?
Right.
And be like, what did I say? Like, was I draining them? I don't know. I would
But
just
do you think it's fair or not?
No. I would rather them be like, hey, you know what? We're at different, like, energy levels right now.
You like Trump, I don't, so I'm out type of, like...
I like Trump?
No, not you. I'm saying, like, if somebody was like, you know, like, if you told them, like, you like Trump, I don't, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
I mean, of course I would. That would be a reason for me to... Hey, beats. I'm going to head out.
I didn't ghost. No, I did.
You did.
The Trump supporter, I did.
So you're basically a little bitch because you won't talk to them and tell them.
I broke up with him, but I didn't tell him the main reason why I broke up with him. Fuck you.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah.
He did stink like dog.
Damn.
He doesn't know.
Okay, fine. I'll take that out.
He also doesn't know who we're talking about.
Hit us with your weird facts.
Okay. So, you guys, what kind of language do you dream in? Do you dream in Spanish ever? Do you ever dream in Spanish?
¿Qué?
Have you ever had a dream in Spanish?
¿Qué cosa? No.
Ooh, imagine having a dream in that Salvadorian accent that you always post.
Fíjate vos, vámonos yeah, bro. No, that would trip me out. I actually dream in English.
Francis.
No, you don't. You only dream in your primary language. There is no way that you could actually get your brain to dream in another language that isn't your primary language.
No. All right. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we're going to talk about the wine that we had tonight, other than 19 Crimes, because we have that on every freaking episode.
Oh, do you really?
We do.
I didn't hear the first two. Obviously, you guys
yeah.
didn't let me hear the third one, but
No.
I didn't hear.
The third one was wild.
Okay, so you guys had 19 Crimes the first two?
And the third one, yeah.
Oh, well, whatever. Then obviously, at least you guys got a little bit of backstory on my wine.
Yeah.
You know, this time, I didn't just show up with it. But we also have Stephanie's favorite, which is
Chateau Saint Michel. So at the old bar that I used to work at, we had this wine. And I remember this old lady came in and she was like, yo, you guys have this Riesling? Like, let me try it. And I was like, I got you. And then, like, during quarantine is when I actually started to get really into wines. And I saw it at Sprouts. Mm-hmm. And I was like, let me just grab it. And I used to always drink, like, Stella and, like, all these lame little wines,
we don't
And-
we don't want to offend.
No.
We will not
Stella-
offend anyone who
Nope.
drinks Stella.
Nope.
It's okay.
Nope. Stella's whack as fuck. Step your game up.
she will ghost you.
Yeah. So Stella's whack as fuck, and then I tried this one because I used to be into Moscatos because I used to like a more sweet wine. I wasn't ready for a bitter wine, and or a dry wine. And I tried this, and I was like, holy shit, I'm fucked up. Like I was cooking steak and veggies and sipping on this, and I was like, this is dope. Like this is my whole vibe right now. And I don't know, I fell in love with it. I put some people onto it, and I dig it.
I love it, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a good mixture of dry and sweet. So it's not really sweet. It's kind of dry, but it has enough sweet so where the dryness doesn't overpower you. So it's a really good mixture. Actually, Stephanie's the one that put me on it, like she just said. Next time I'm gonna bring. There's a family choice. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's actually really good too. So I'll bring that next time, and I'll sit here and talk shit with you guys.
I like it because it's not overbearing, like the dryness, like the Cali Red that we just had, which isn't overbearing either because we've had some really dry wine that's like, dang. I'm not going to be able to, like, drink this.
Yeah, I see a lot of Chateau over here. Empty bottles.
Yeah. We get down.
Yep. Hey, well, before we go, I just want to say thanks for having me. It was actually really fun. I think that most people that listen to this probably don't understand that the unwind part of it really, like, is unwind. Like, we're really on wine, and we unwind.
You had ass. No, but we really are unwinding. We're letting go of things that we've held on to for so long, Like we're letting it go. We're unwinding. It's cool.
And then I think the more that you drink, like because it's wine, so it's relaxing. The more that you drink, the more that you feel comfortable opening up. So it's really a dope like concept that you guys have going on. So I'm all for it. I'll continue to support you guys. So I'm kind of proud of you guys I am proud of you guys for doing this. Like, this is fun. This is cool. It's something that you guys could, like, you don't have to do for all, like, the follows and all that, but you could continue in doing this for yourself. And it really brings a different perspective to people that might not have the ability to just sit down and talk to someone like, someone different, right? Like, you don't always just sit down and talk to someone different. So If you listen this far, then hey man, kudos to you because you're open minded. And then I would hope that you probably give some feedback to these ladies, and then maybe you could be next to come over here and just have a good time and bring your favorite bottle of wine, and so kudos to you guys. Thank you, and love you guys.
Thank you for being here and for always supporting us, no matter what we do, which is really cool. I mean, I'm sure there are things that you're like, hey, no.
Can I also just call Gabby out on something? So me and the co-star that we're always like, we invite, we sip on wine. Like, we're going through 3-4 glasses. This is still your first, bro. And every episode has been like that.
Because, look, wine is meant to sip on slowly.
We've been sipping. It's been an hour.
Yeah, but your guys' sips are
minutes.
like half the glass. My sips are like
it's not.
sippity, sip. Well, okay. Anyway, thank you, brother, for being here. We appreciate it.
I gotta agree with her, man. Like,
I don't drink wine like that.
I seen you drink once, and we killed these 2 bottles. Like they were delicious.
I don't drink wine like that. I love it. I like to savor it. Just sippity sip.
So we're changing the title to this podcast. It's gonna be called
Sippity sip.
It's gonna be called Gabby and Stephanie Unwinding.
What? That's ugly.
I mean, because that's what it is. Right? It's Gabby is here and Stephanie's unwinding.
There's actually a what is it? A TikTok of this girl like being like, oh, like I'm getting notes of vanilla and cinnamon and like blah blah blah, and like she's like, what are you getting? And the dude's like, oh, I'm getting fucked up. That's me.
That is so us. Because I'm like, oh, I like this bitter taste. It's really smoky, and you're just like, yeah, I'm just drunk.
Yeah.
All right, but before we go, we always do a song of the episode. So, Edgar, hit us with your song.
All right. So, I was thinking of what song I wanted to kind of play out, and it's that new Fan de tus votos by Nicky Jam.
Can you say that again? Because you said it whack as fuck.
Are you gonna cut this out? Cut this out. Stupid. Okay. Fan de tus fotos. So it's by Nicky Jam. It's like, latest and greatest. It's fun. It's dope, Like I said, we stick to the Hispanic culture.
Yeah, absolutely.
My song, it's Bitches Broken Hearts.
Okay, but who's the artist?
It's Billie Eilish. It's a really chill song, super chill. Like, I could do my makeup and cry at the same time, which is I do that a lot.
So you're like applying as it runs down.
No, like my eyeliner and like mascara will be on and I'll like cry like this. Like looking up. So like nothing runs down.
So like raise your eyebrows, look up. So
you have to look up, and then you get like 2 Q-tips and you put them in like the center of your tear ducts, and it soaks up all the tears.
Thanks for the tips.
You're welcome. It's a really good song, really chill. It's like one of the vibey songs. I like it.
Nice. I like it. My song is What You Heard by Sonder, which, if you don't know, Brent Fayez was part of Sonder, and his voice is amazing. So, like, I could listen to any of his songs, even if it sucks. They call him
toxic.
He might be toxic, but that's why his songs are great. El Tóxico. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Peace out.
Do we do the intro now? Oh, good night. Have a great night.